Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Just wondering if you guys can hear me okay. Oh, good. Okay, testing, testing. Let's see. 2 in the morning, Fiona. Oh my God. That's so sweet. Thank you. Aw. Is it too loud? Because I don't want y'all to hear my breathing and stuff. Okay, good. So you'll have to forgive, sometimes this cord that I have attached might fall into the view of the video occasionally, so I apologize for that. And then my camera, let me see. See, if I turn it the other way, it doesn't show anything more. I don't know what's wrong with my phone or why it's doing it. See, you actually get to see more if I turn it that way. I'm so sorry. I did turn the camera, you can see, and it doesn't seem to make it fill up the whole screen, unfortunately. And I don't know how to do that. Let me check one more thing if you guys will bear with me. Sorry, this is my first time doing live painting. Let's see. It doesn't give me an option. But I do see what you're saying, unfortunately. I'm so sorry for that. But we will do the best we can with what we can see. Hopefully this will be good. Thank you so much for coming today. This is awesome, and I'm a little nervous because I don't paint live. I'm not, I usually just have music going on, and so forgive me if I sound a little bit nervous. Thanks for coming. Hello, Kathleen. So nice to see you. Hi, Gail. Thank you for coming. And all of you. What I'm gonna do first is I'll try to look at the comments occasionally, but I do get really involved when I'm painting, so I'm gonna try to talk you through some things and show you a couple things. Now, the first thing I want to show you while we're waiting, and this is something I've been thinking about for a while, is why do my balloon roll paintings, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. So this was a question I asked myself. I've been asking myself why. And what makes them work sometimes and not others? I don't know if I can make you guys a little closer. Let me see. Oh, look at that. How exciting is that? Okay, so this is what I was thinking about. When I first started painting and I did my balloon rolls, they worked out pretty good. I don't have any old paintings to show you because I sold like 99.9% of my paintings, which is awesome. And then I went through a period of time where they really weren't working. And then I made this painting. Now, this painting worked really well. The balloon rolls were beautiful, and there's a lot of weird colors in here, so I was like, what is the difference? Well, I started running out of Floetrol. So when I ran out of Floetrol, I thought I need to start using some pouring mediums that I have laying around. One of the things I have is glue all. I'm gonna grab that here. I'm sure you guys have all know what I'm talking about. This is the Elmer's glue all, and it's something I bought a long time ago and do not use because I'm spoiled and I like my Floetrol, but it started running out. And it made me think, what if that was the reason why my balloon rolls used to work really well and they haven't been lately? So I added some glue all to my paints. I'm going to show you how much, because it's really not a huge amount we're talking about here. So in this I have Floetrol and some color shift paint, like 50% color shift by Folk Art and 50% Floetrol. And that's all that's in here right now. All of my paints today were mixed this way, so I wanted to make sure you guys could see what I did, but I didn't want to make you sit here during the whole paint mixing thing, because although consistency is important. So here's the thing. I'm getting this beautiful consistency, which is about the perfect consistency. And then I take this is just glue. Actually, this is a PVA glue, and I used to use this all the time. I take this glue, and I want to show you how much, because you do not have to have a whole pouring medium made with glue in order for this to work. But I'm going to show you how much I'm talking about here. That's it. Did y'all see that? It's not very much. It's just a little bit, but there's something about that gives a staying power to the paint when you're doing your balloon rolls. So that was one thing that I wanted to share with you right away. Add a little bit of glue. It doesn't have to be a lot of glue. It doesn't have to be a ton of glue, just a little bit. And then that's the consistency you're looking for, if you can see. Balloon rolls do not work with paint that is too thin in general, or you can probably get it to work like I have, but you will just fight with it the whole time, like I do. So, oh, sorry. Put the camera down a little. Well, I will put the camera down a little, but I have a few things to show you guys first. I want to show you, for those of you, I'm sure most of you know what my balloon rolls are, but I want to show you some examples. This is painting you've probably never seen unless you are a friend of mine and I shared it with you. This is a balloon roll painting that I did, and all of these are with the metallic balloon rolls. I'm going to show you closer. Forgive me if my camera is off here. Just figuring out what to do. I know some people can see and some people can't, and I'm experiencing the same thing. On my iPhone I can see fine, and on my iPad I can't see, so I don't know what to tell you. So sorry, you guys. But here's an example of some balloon rolls that I did. And of course you just saw the spring fling one that I did. Here's another one you probably have not seen yet. It's a little baby one of the spring. So here's the spring fling. And then here's a little baby one that I did first as kind of a test. These are all balloon rolls right here. All of these. It's pretty balloon rolls. And I just used black to bring out the balloon rolls for all of this. And I'm going to show you that technique too, because if all else fails, this method works for balloon rolls, adding a color like white or black to the painting. It works pretty good. Now, here is a painting I did with all glue as my pouring medium. Now, I'll show you the whole thing first. Very pretty, beautiful patterns, but this is what I don't like about using all glue. I'm going to show you up close if I can. See how it broke apart? I'm not loving that. And I did it here too. So that's disappointing to me. Now, yeah, some of the other ones are just so gorgeous. Look at that balloon roll right there. That is so pretty. But yeah, so using glue completely as my pouring medium with water was not my biggest success, although that painting is pretty. And then, I'm sorry for you guys that cannot see. I'm not sure what to do. There's definitely, try turning your phone horizontally, or I mean your viewing, if you're watching like an iPad or whatever. See if that helps you. So here's another painting I did with balloon rolls, and this one I struggled with. This is one of those ones where the Floetrol, I didn't add any glue in it at all, and I struggled and struggled and struggled with. But you can see some of the pretty little effects here. The balloon rolls for this one. People are suggesting if you're having trouble seeing to go out and come back in and see if that helps you a little bit. Sorry, I'm trying to show you. Isn't that pretty? Look at those. I'm trying to show you close up here. Yeah. Hi to Kimberly from Ohio. Hi everybody. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, so now you've seen one of my tricks is to mix the glue in, and it's not very much glue, with the paint. So that's one of the tricks. Now, I've gotten so many questions about the glove. It's the famous glove, y'all. And oh my gosh, I've had so many questions on this. It seems so simple to me, but I'm going to show you what I do. All right, let's see if I can move this in a little bit. Okay. I use these regular gloves. They're nothing special. They're in my Amazon shop. Let me see if I can reach. I'm just going to show you. These are the ones I get. Like I said, they're nothing special. They're just the latex ones. They're textured, which I think means something. Let's see. All right. So let's see here. Fiona, you're saying the chat is all over the video. So you guys need to tell me right now. I'm going to try one more time to turn my phone. But the problem is if I turn it, it doesn't seem to matter. I'm going to turn it for you guys one time and then tell me if you see anything different, but I just don't think it's going to make a difference. That's the turned version. And it's still, in fact, it shows less now for me. So can you guys let me know? Somebody let me know. I think it shows less too, and that's why I don't want to do that. I know. And I don't know what's wrong. This is something that has happened before, and I don't know how to fix it. So I'm sorry. I'm going to turn it back because this way I can actually see more. Okay. So I know a lot of you have trouble with the glove. I'm going to show you. This is how you tie the glove for balloon rolls. Okay. The first trick is, yes, I think the textured makes a difference. I believe it does, and the reason I believe it does is because balloons are really, really slick. And this just has this fine little texture to it, and there's something about it that helps grip onto the paint and remove a layer. This is what I feel. So I could be wrong, and maybe others don't experience this, but this is what I seem to experience. So, all right, here's the trick to tying it. Now, I know you guys think there's some like amazing super duper like trick, but this is what I do. I stretch the top, and doing this, you risk breaking it. But slowly, 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 I stretch the top in both directions like this. Thank you, Michelle. So someone said to hit the back arrow and it moved the text messages to the left more, so maybe that's something to do. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I tried to do as much research as I could. So this is what I do. I literally do this over and over, but sometimes you can break it doing this. Because I have old fingers. And I have arthritis, and tying this is really, really hard. But it still works so much better than a balloon. I have to do it. So, all right. Once you get it kind of stretched out, this is what you do. I have to bring it to my mouth here. So I literally just hold it like a balloon, like this. And I put it to my mouth. Sorry, you're going to hear some heavy breathing now. All right. I blow it up. I give it a little twist. And then here's the hard part. This part literally can hurt. And I'm going to try to do it holding my arms out. But honestly, I usually have to hold it up against my body. I might actually have to hold it up against my body. I hold it up against my body. This is so sad I have to do this. My gosh. You guys hear me struggling with this? I'm not kidding. This is not an easy part. There has to be a better way. There has to be a better way, but I haven't figured it out yet. So I literally just tie this like a balloon. Oh my gosh, because I'm nervous, I can't do it. My hands are shaking. Okay, look, you guys. You just basically tie it just like a balloon, and then you pull the end through. Whew, I'm shaking. I really didn't think I was Gonna get that, wouldn't that be terrible? A balloon roll video, unable to tie the balloon. Okay, that's what you have now. They might make clips for balloons. That seems so, like, such a brilliant idea. I think that is a good idea right there. Okay, now the fingers. I'm going to tell you why the fingers started getting in the way. So I'm like, why am I not tying these off? So I tie the fingers off. The ones that are closest together, but not the thumb, and I'll show you why in a second. I tie these two fingers into a double knot. Now this part's easy, luckily. Now, when you're painting, those two will get in the way. So I take the scissors and I clip just like that. My scissors are so dull, sorry. Now, if you want some extra patterns, I suppose you could leave that on there, but I just find I want the control of not having those. So here is the modified glove. Now, the last thing is this. The thumb. Now y'all want to know how I hold this balloon and get it to stay, and this is what I found works best. I stick my thumb. This is like, you know, this is a real secret here, you guys. I stick my thumb inside the thumb and I hold it. Please don't be mad at me for not sharing that, because I really didn't think it was like a big deal. But it works. And so now when I'm doing my balloon rolls, like, I have control. I have a point to hold this slippery thing. And that's how I do it. Do you guys have any questions? That's it. That's the balloon roll glove. Yeah, I don't know if it's genius, but it like, I did balloon rolls, you know. I don't know if you guys know, if you look at my videos, I have like 47 balloon roll videos, and that's just the ones I thought to include into my playlist. So I think we should get painting now. Let's see. I'm gonna maybe move you up a little bit because I want you to see. We're gonna start with a 14 by 18 canvas today. I wanna see what that looks like. Balloon clips. Cheryl says balloon clips can be found on Amazon, Oriental Trading Company. That is such a good idea. Okay, 14 by 18 canvas. I've never painted live before. You guys, I don't know. We're gonna see how it goes. Thank you to Gail Life in Splatters for this canvas, which is just an awesome size. It's like big enough that you can actually do some things on it, but small enough that it's, you know, it's mailable without costing a fortune. And yeah, it's a great size. Thank you, Gail, for that gift. And there we go. Okay. The second thing is I mixed up all my paints today with the Floetrol and that little bit of glue that you saw and water. The colors I have today are just a ton of colors. I just picked, like, I'll just show you real quick all the different colors. I kept mixing and mixing, not having any idea what I want to paint or what I'm thinking of painting or anything like that. So I just mixed all these colors. We have in here, I'll just go around and tell you, Rose Madder, Ultramarine Blue, Payne's Gray. This is a Color Shift, Purple Flash. 2 normal whites right here. These are just whites and blacks, copper. This is a primary elements one. I'm trying to think of what the name of that one is. An orange, a vermilion, an espresso brown color, a champagne gold, and a regular gold. And I don't know what I'm gonna even do. Aw. Gail, I love it that you call me Cookie. It's like one of the sweetest nicknames I've ever had. It's so cool. Thank you. Okay. Do you guys have any techniques that you might want to see me do? Ring pours. This, I wouldn't suggest a... I'm not looking for a lot of gold cells on this one because my paints are a little thick for that. But other than that, I'm just going to, if I don't get any requests, I'm just going to start filling a cup and see what happens. I will show you another thing that I thought about. These balloon rolls. I've had some balloon rolls where, you've seen me do balloon rolls where cool colors pop in from the outside. I'm going to show you how I do that. And I'm going to start here with a little bit of, let's just do gold. I'm going to do the blue, Payne's Gray, I guess this would be. I'm going to layer the cool colors first in this cup. These are all the different kinds of blues. Now remember, if you use primary elements in your painting, you definitely will not want to use Liquitex liquid varnish on it. You want to use a spray varnish for sure. And that is because it will bleed with the liquid varnish. But spray varnish works great, and I love primary elements, and I absolutely adore using them. So I have no idea what I'm doing here, you guys. Some purple. Let's use some copper. Now introducing the purple will allow me to introduce some of the warmer colors into the painting. Why? Because the purple is a transition color. It's a color made with blue and red. So it helps me transition the blues that I have at the bottom of the cup into some of the warmer colors. So now that I have that purple there, I put my copper, which is a red undertone, and then I can go ahead and add some reds now. So if they mix together, it's not likely to cause any weird gross colors because I'm transitioning from all the cool colors into the warm colors. And now I'm gonna give it a little bit of white in there. White is also a great way to insulate some colors from each other. So if you have like an orange and you don't want to mix it with your green or whatever, because that'll just make a horrible, terrible color, you can use white in between. White is a good one. Gold is a good one, because gold pretty much goes with everything. Okay. I think the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and just do it like a little straight pour and see what happens. I'm going to bring you down a little closer for that, you guys. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe a little bit more. It's hard for me to feel with my gloves on what's happening. Just so you get a good look at what's going on. Okay. Here, I'm going to start with a straight pour. Now remember, when you lift your cup up, you're going to get a lot of those mixing. And this, when you put your cup down towards the canvas, that's when you get those beautiful fingers that you see. And then the slower the pour is, the closer you go to your canvas. So see, now I'm purposely making those fingers by going real close to the canvas right here. Now if I want to lose that part, I just lift up. And I can go back down again. Huh. Interesting. Okay. I have no idea what that's gonna look like, you guys. I can see that I've lost some of the purple flash. So one thing I know I want to do right away is add some of that purple around here. And then over here I can see I've lost a lot of this. Now I'm going to show you something. This is my advice. Add some weirdo color to your painting. You don't have to add it in the cup if you don't want to, but to me, like, this orange really doesn't go with anything. I guess it goes with the reds, but this is one way I get my balloon rolls to have these crazy colors that pop through the bottom, is I add paint to the canvas. So now I know that when I do my balloon roll, this orange somewhere is going to come through, but it's not necessarily going to mix with everything else. So that's going to give me some interesting effects eventually. You don't want it, it doesn't have to be thick or anything. And you can do more than one color too. You don't even have to do, so like if I had a yellow or another weird color down here. Yes, Melanie, it does roll over those colors, but you'll see, like I was showing in some of my earlier balloon rolls, I'm going to show you an example real quick without ruining this painting, hopefully. All right, let me try to find this on the camera. Do you see the yellow? Let me show you. See the yellow on the bottom right there? That yellow is yellow that was put around the canvas, just like this one, I believe. Now hopefully I didn't just get orange paint on that painting, but yeah. For those of you who missed the first part, I stick my thumb in the thumb to thumb, you guys, thumb to thumb. And that is how I hold on to the balloon. So, for those of you who missed that earlier. All right, so, you know, it looks kind of scary, this purple and this orange together, you know. It seems a little frightening to me. I'm not sure what's going to happen. But to buffer that possibility, I'm going to put a ring of copper. Copper goes with the purple, it will go with the red, it will go with the orange. So that will be like a good little buffer between those colors. I'm going to put a little ring of gold. And then truthfully, I really love this what's happening right here. So I think what I'm going to do is add a second pour in the center with these colors that I want to see more of. So that's, you know, something I always say. If you guys see something and you want more of what you missed out on, you can always add more. You can do it in a second cup, in a third cup. If you see my paintings, I'm always adding multiple cups to everything. And that's why. And then I'm going to add a little bit of white here. And maybe some gold for good measure. Make those fingers really long by moving your cup back and forth like this. Oh, I love that effect. Whatever's happening right there is really pretty. Ooh, how exciting. Okay, I'm ready to tilt because I see a lot of really interesting things happening here. Is there a reason I don't put a base coat down? Yes, because there's reasons to put a base coat for sure. If you put a base coat down, your paint slides like this over the top. It moves over the base coat. So it's great if you want to really maintain the pattern. So if, let's say you're trying to do like a tree ring or something where you want the tree rings, the rings to stay absolutely perfect and you don't really want them to get shifted, that's a great way because the base coat is like a slide. It acts as like a slide. But I kind of like my paints to roll over each other. So the texture, the dry texture of the canvas right there is gonna pull some of these paints to roll over each other. And so that creates some different effects, I think. And that's one reason. I also like to have control, like this orange color. I don't want it over the whole thing, and I don't want the orange to pop through in the center here. But it might be fun if it pops through around the edge. So that's another reason why I just like to have more control. Now, when you're doing like a flip cup or something, you have to. You have to. So, you know, there's some methods that you absolutely just have to have a base coat for. Flip cups. But yeah, I don't use a base coat a lot. Now, I'm going to show you something I really don't talk about very much, but I love this. So when I'm tilting today, I pick something in the canvas that I really love and I try to save it. Today, what I love is this right here. So I'm going to try to save that part if I can. Now, I really don't have a lot of paint on my canvas right now, you guys, really. It's not a ton. I've been really careful with the amount of paint I'm using right now. Here's the other thing. If I come to a place where I'm about to lose a pattern or something that I really love, and I can see that I don't have enough paint to make it happen, to tilt everything off, I don't want to sacrifice the part that I love you sometimes, just so I can have enough to tilt off. Like, you know, if you keep stretching, it's going to eventually ruin some of these effects. So I decide, obviously I need more paint for this edge over here. Sorry if you can't see. I can move the camera out a little bit. Let me wipe my hands. Let me see if I can move this back out a little bit so you can see the whole thing. Hi, Carrie. Carrie, it's because of you that this episode was possible today. And Carrie sent me some Floetrol. I've been out, so I'm so excited. Okay, so I want to mirror some of this over here that's happening. And I want to see, there's some ways you can do it. You can add like strips of paint. I could just add some strips here, or I could make another cup, which I think I'm going to do that really quick, is just make another cup. I'm going to put the Color Flash Payne's Gray Ultramarine Blue gold, although there is a lot of gold in here already, and this blue and this. I just add all the cool colors that I'm enjoying right here. I'm gonna see. Now, one thing I wanted to tell you guys, here's a little trick. Okay, I wanna see if I have white like that. If you have white in a squirt bottle and you wanna add some interest in your cup here, but you didn't wanna layer white all the way through it, the force of the white paint down inside of here, I'm going to try to do this so you guys could see. Let me see if I can do it. Oh gosh, my white is stuck. It's been a while since I've used it. I usually make up my white every time because I use it for different reasons. Melanie, it's not mysterious. Oh my gosh, let's see. Oh, it's not going to squeeze. Okay, well that was an awesome trick if I could get it to work. Let's see if this one will work. All right, here we go. Payne's Gray. All right, I shoot that down inside of there. So the act of shooting that inside of there is going to create some interest when I go to pour. Now let's see here. When you pour it straight out of the cup, you get those pretty stripes. Now, if you can see some of the little bubbles that are forming here, that's from shooting the white inside of the cup. So now, I'm going to be able to get some of these. I'm still at risk here for losing this pretty part. I can see I could shift I should have shifted the weight of this part of the paint over before tilting, and that was my mistake. So now I'm gonna have to push it anyway. And you know, fluid art, it's not a exact science, so this is why I'm always saying let the paint tell you what it wants to do, because it has a mind of its own. Now, see, I've covered up most of the orange. It wasn't really like a color I was excited to have in general. It wasn't something like I wanted necessarily just my whole painting to be about the orange, you know what I'm saying? But that's kind of cool. It looks like, it almost looks like the sand and the water is like coming in on the sand. So that makes me want to play with that little area a little bit. You can see some of the cells that are forming from stretching the painting so much, the paint so much over there. I know, Gil, your favorite color is copper, right? Gil uses copper in every painting. If you see a painting without copper, although I've seen a few Gil lately without copper. I'm going to show you. Okay, so because I like what's happening right here and the whole concept of like the ocean, I'm going to do this little white line. And it's going to play into that whole ocean feeling with my airbrush. I have an airbrush listed in my Amazon shop. It's one that I recommend. There's more expensive ones and there's less expensive ones. This is kind of the one that I like to use. I'm gonna have to move this a little bit. This darn cord is getting in my way. This cord is getting in my way. All right, it's still getting in my way, but that's just it's gonna be. I know I'm supposed to show you guys some balloon rolls, right? I wondered if this would happen. I'm not sure I want to put any on this painting, but I'm going to just for the sake of this tutorial. But my gosh, doesn't that look like the ocean kind of? Dawn, I can use acrylic paint. I can use paints. In fact, high flow used in your airbrush is, I think they're actually made for airbrush. There's like a little airbrush medium. But I honestly, I don't like cleaning out the airbrush. That's really the only reason why I haven't explored. I used to do that. I should say I explored it one time in high school. And it was so much work to clean it out. And if you don't clean it out, it ruins the whole airbrush. So then I just, it's so fussy. And I just decided not to. So I have been doing all kinds of other stuff though, you guys. I'm really excited. I've been doing so many watercolors and ink and acrylic, alcohol inks. And do you guys know I started my cooking channel? So I've been doing my cooking videos. And oh, I want to bring you closer to see what this looks like. Let me wash my hands real quick. Do you have any questions? I'm going to look here at the screen for a second. See if I can. Let me move you in a little bit here. No, it did not work. My gloves are too slick to make it happen. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Dawn. Thanks, guys. Let me see if that moves you in a little bit closer. Isn't it pretty? Look at the wave part. It's like I'm trying to get really close here so you could see some of the detail even. I love that part right there, that blue. And I'm glad I was able to preserve it a little bit. So I'm going to do a balloon roll on here and see what happens. And she asks, do I need a compressor for the airbrush or can I use canned air? You can use canned air, but I'm going to show you why you would like an airbrush. On an airbrush, there's that little button right there. That button, you can control the amount of air that's coming out of there by pulling it back or pushing it forward. And what that does is it makes a needle come to the tip here. The needle blocks off the air, or when you pull it back, it opens up the air. You can also, it's how much you press down. So it allows so much control. Canned air does not have control like that. When you have canned air, it's just one force, and you really don't have a lot of control over that. And the can freezes up. I don't like that. I've been using them for alcohol inks. So, oh, your airbrush works on canned air. Wow. See, I learned something. This is why I love hanging out with artists. You always learn something. I'm trying to think where I should put some balloon rolls. I'm going to put a balloon roll right here. Now, what I do when I do balloon rolls, I look for the natural shape of a balloon roll. The natural shape of a balloon roll is kind of a triangle shaped. So I look, where in the painting are there some natural triangle shapes that I could use to do the balloon roll with? And my PSI for my compressor is set on 25, by the way. And I just found that's a good general sort of. Now, how do I explain this? When you do your balloon rolls, wherever you start, that's the part that has the widest look to it. So if you know, wherever you start, it gets wide and then it goes down like a triangle, like this. So wherever you start the balloon roll, that's what you're going for. So in this case, I kind of want it to go this way because I want it to go with the natural flow of this little triangle that I'm seeing right here. So I'm going to try it and see. We might be able to see if some of that that orange pops through. I just press it and then I just pull back. Now, you end up with this, and although it sucks, I wipe it off every single solitary time until it's clean. Why? Because I don't want to deposit those colors back on here again. Now, one of the reasons I chose orange today is because it's such an odd color compared to the rest of these that's going to really pop, and I wanted to make sure. But it's also a tough color, orange and blue and purple mixed together. You can already see it starting to create some brown. So I'm going to show you one of the things that I do. Where is, sorry, I need to look for something. I thought I had everything right here. One of the things I do is I put, if I'm getting something that looks kind of muddy and I want to brighten it up, this is what I do. I take some white. This is satin enamel white, by the way. I like the look of it. And I put it like this on my balloon. And then I roll it back. Now, this color pattern we got going on here is going to be a tough one, guys. I can already see how much trouble that's going to be. But, wow, that is so pretty, too. So, let's try a few more in a few different areas. This is just for fun. You know, your paintings, make sure you're having fun with it, too, because if you're not, it's not worth doing, you know. I'm going to show you I don't see a lot of other places to do balloon rolls on this painting. Like, this painting really doesn't need any balloon rolls, but since we're doing it, I'm going to show you. Now, if you put the white on it to begin with, you're likely to get, it just gets deposited on the canvas instead of pulling away the top layer of paint, which is kind of what you're trying to do here. You're trying to pull away some of this paint. So I just use the blank. Oh, terrible. See, that's just a horrible, horrible, messy color right there. So you've seen me again and again scrape, and my balloon rolls don't always work. I know there's really no magic tune to balloon rolls. Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you can let the canvas sit a little bit. That helps when the paint sits a little bit. But see, that orange is starting to pop through, and I'm like, well, maybe I could work with that a little bit anyway. So I'm gonna add some of this white and just see what happens. Isn't that pretty though? It's a very odd color to expect right there. That's kind of why I like it. I think it's interesting. So I'm going to keep working. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep wiping and rolling. Because now that I have orange started at different parts of the canvas, I really want to continue that look all the way around so there's a continuity to the painting. You can use any contrasting color, yeah, and yes, the question is, does the consistency of the paint have anything to do with the success? Yes. It does need to be thicker. The thinner it is, the harder balloon rolls are to do. They also disappear. So if this paint was any thinner at all, these balloon rolls would just start to, dissipate. So right now I'm not, it sucks because I really don't want to ruin this part up here. A lot of the white has disappeared into the copper, but it's still pretty. There's some really pretty lacing going on. But maybe I'll add a few over on this corner to try to draw. Well, our eye likes 3. Combinations of 3, 5, 6, and 9. Our eyes gravitate towards odd numbers. So when I'm looking at this painting, what I'm seeing is a group over here and one over here. That's 2. So I would say I need a third grouping at least somewhere in here to kind of balance out the composition of the painting. So I could either put it over here in this corner, but that corner's so cool. I could do another painting too, y'all, just a quick one, if you want me to. I have a lot of paint here. Let's see. I know one thing I need to do is, I see canvas, dry canvas showing through here, and that's never okay with me. So even though I love that balloon roll, oh my gosh, my cord is dragging in my canvas. do one more right here. Sorry I'm not talking more. I just need to think about what I'm doing here for a second. This just adds an interesting look to the painting. Balloon rolls are fun. They add a femininity sometimes, I think, to the painting that maybe wasn't there before. And if you don't like something, you can go over it again. And if you don't like it after that, you can always scrape it off. Now, look at my glove. It's totally deflating, and I don't know. It's because I probably didn't tie it tight enough because I was all stressed out. So, it's already deflating. What do you guys think of this painting? Just as it is. Just curious. I'm gonna go out all the way and see. This is like a weirdo color combination, I know. But one thing is when this dries, you have to kind of think about all the brown you see is actually copper. So you're gonna get some really amazing metallics. And some of the things that seem really bright right now, like the violet, those are gonna dry much more subtle, I guess. Sharon says, we want to see more balloon rolls. Okay, let me set this aside, and I'll do one more painting that's quicker. Hold on a second, I have to unplug you. Okay. Brenda, sorry your screen was frozen. That sucks. Okay. Okay. I'm going to show you a different way of doing these. One of my most popular paintings ever was this painting called Acrylic Pouring Without a Cup. It's probably the most popular painting I've ever done in terms of like views and sorry for the noise there. And I think it's a good way to kind of show how balloon rolls can work even without a pour. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start just acrylic pouring without a cup, basically. And I'm going to show you. I'm not going to even put a base coat down. That was a berry color, and this is a crimson. I'm gonna use a little bit of orange here and there, just like a little, just like the last time, just like a little pop of color. We're gonna use some, let's see here, white. Use some white. If all else fails and you want like really a no-fail sort of balloon roll thing, then one way to do it is to use colors that you know, no matter how they mix, they will be okay. And so one thing you can do, like in this case, is just stick with all warm colors. You know that no matter what you do with these paints, no matter how they mix together, they're going to be pretty. And they're not going to cause any weird effects. Now, I hate to say this, but I have to blow up another glove, and I really don't want to because it hurts my fingers. But this is what happens to these gloves. So for those of you who missed the first one, this is what I do. Oh, I stretch the top like this, and then I blow it up like a balloon. Yeah, balloon clips would be awesome. If someone has ever used balloon clips and thinks that would work for this, I think it's a great idea. Because it really does hurt your hands. How hard do I push down on the balloon and when? Hi, Linda. Oh, you want to know how hard, Sharon, I push on the balloon? That's a good question. It depends. If I have a color that I've put on the bottom, like one of those weirdo colors that I want to bring out from the top, then I want to push harder because I'm trying to get the color from the bottom to pop up. So I'm going to push a little harder. If I want just like some wispy, just some little wispy, flowery looking details, I'm going to show you guys. This is literally how this is working right now. Oh, there you go. And so then I won't push as hard. Now for those of you who missed this part, I'm tying off the fingers. So I just tie them together and form a knot. And then, except for not the thumb, just the fingers that are closest together, like this. Like this. And then I use my handy dandy scissors and I cut. I just snip off, and you know, you can leave them on there, but it will affect the look of your balloon roll at the end. So then I just cut them off like this. Now let me put a pair of other gloves on again. Dawn, thank you so much. Stay safe to you too. Thanks for coming here, you guys. Thanks for joining me on my flagship live painting video. I know I have arthritis too, so tying this glove is ridiculous and it makes me want to come up with another solution, but I just keep not doing it. So, I know, and sometimes I used to have my roommate or my partner tie them for me because it hurts so much. But I don't always have people around. So I'm going to show you, the cool part about this is just dry canvas in between here. And so you're going to really see a dramatic balloon roll effect. And actually, let's put a little bit of black in here too. Just for the black can be like our pop color in this case, since it's all reds and the black is kind of a cool. I know this looks like absolutely nothing. So when you are working on a canvas like this, you're really trying to think about the composition. So I have full control of the composition right now, because every balloon roll I make is going to create a pattern, basically. So this is huge. And that's another thing I noticed, like the size of your glove changes the different types of balloons you make. Like obviously this roll is going to make a really small little balloon roll, and this one's going to make a really large one. So I stick my thumb inside of the thumb, and I press and roll back. And because there's dry canvas on here, it's gonna create a different effect. I'm gonna have to keep doing it over and over. Hold on. Kitty, if you send me a picture of your balloon, I will try to post it on one of my videos. Here's another thing I do. Oh yeah, this is a good way to show you balloon rolls right here. I twist my wrist. I noticed that when I'm watching my editing. I put the balloon down and I give it a little, almost like a twist. My wrist goes like this. So I noticed that happens. So now I have kind of this sweeping motion right here. I want to put one on the opposite side to just add some interest. And in a few areas I need a little bit more paint. It's a little too dry. I don't want all of the canvas covered, but all right, so you can see on this one, mostly the white is what took over. So I just can roll it again and some of that other color pops through. Now off camera here, so I don't drip on my painting, I'm wiping off this balloon every single time. When I press down, then do I lift up? Okay, so let me think about that. I'm pressing down, I roll until I get to the point where I get to the end, like the end of where my wrist will go, and then I pull back. So I guess I have to do it really fast, don't I? If you look at my earlier balloon roll videos, I'm so slow. I've really noticed that I've gotten a lot faster at the balloon rolls since I started. And different techniques produce different results. Here's another one I noticed. If you set the balloon straight down and you pull it back really quickly without really doing much of a roll, it leaves this beautiful long trail. I'm going to see if I can do that really quick for you guys. Let's see. You have to have somewhere that has kind of a lot of paint. I'll try it right here and see if it'll do it. I press down and then I pull back. You can kind of see this beautiful twisted trail, but that's a better technique for when you really have a lot of paint. Here's another thing. If you have a beautiful pattern and you get a beautiful pattern that you're really enjoying that's on your balloon, you can take that and deposit that somewhere else. So like I'm looking at this pretty pattern and I'm thinking, oh, here's an area that doesn't have hardly anything on it. Or this area over here, which has mostly black and brown. I'd like to deposit some of those colors there. So I'm going to just try. And I'm just going to, and see, it did. It brought in some more color to that area. And then when my balloon gets muddled, I'll wipe it off. You can go in a circle with your wrists. Again, a lot of red right there, and I think I want to deposit it over here where there's not very much red. This is a fun way to do balloon rolls because you're not using a lot of paint. And they just turn out so well because there's not very much paint. Oh, probably the biggest trick, I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier, but probably the biggest trick of balloon rolls is not having too much paint on your canvas. If you have a ton of paint on your canvas, you're not going to get a good effect. You'll just end up scraping and scraping and scraping and scraping to get that paint off. I'm going to add some black to some of these spots here because I want the contrast, not because it needs paint there, but I'm just thinking, I'm looking at the canvas as a whole and I'm thinking, okay, we have this beautiful big red sploosh right here, and we have lots of reds and pinks and coppers, and the black is what's going to provide the contrast, like the heavy contrast in here. And whenever you're painting, you want to do darks and lights together. It's darks and lights and the mid-tones. Have every single tone in your painting. That's what makes your painting feel completed. You know how some paintings, they just feel like they're kind of missing something? Like, even the painting I just did before this, it was good, but there's something missing. You can tell this painting already has more feeling, more depth to it. It has every tone in it. Lots of movement. Questions. Too much paint gives muddy results. Yes. The trick is to have thick paint, but not too much of it. Yes, absolutely, Carrie. And I think that's something that people mistake when I say your paint needs to be thick. They think thick on the canvas. No, I mean thick as in consistency thick. So, oh, that is pretty. Sometimes like that, look at that fluid movement there. I'm just going for these. I wanted to draw this into an S shape and pull it around into an S shape. And same, I'm going to do that right here too so you guys can see. I want to draw this into a shape that pulls into the center. So we have, I also like what's going on here. There's a contrast, a big white spot and a big black spot that draws the eye around in a circle. So we have white, red, black, and it kind of makes your eye go in a circle, which is part of good composition. So I don't want to mess this white spot up too much, but I am going to, you can do this little, see that little part right there? I do that on the edges a lot, just a little bit. So you're covering canvas, you're getting that little feathery look, but you're not necessarily messing up the composition of the whole thing. If you really like what's going on, you don't have to ruin anything. Those are really pretty right there. Push and drag and lift for an S shape. I wouldn't say push. I'm not really pushing. I'm setting the balloon down, rolling, and then pulling it away. So I'm going to do that like here. I'm just going to, well, let me make sure. Different, you know, Sharon, I think why I'm having a trouble explaining this is because you don't get to just have one technique that makes the same shape. So different ways you move your wrist, different pressures, pulling different ways, it all creates different textures. So you're never going to get that just one thing that makes them all perfect. You just have to play around with it. Just do something like this. Look how easy this was. And there's so many beautiful effects. Now, what I'm doing now is I like the composition. I don't really want to change anything about it. But I do need to cover up pieces of the canvas that are showing through that are dry. Because you don't want to sell a painting to somebody that has dry canvas on it. So I'm going to just go in the dry parts and then we'll be done. Jessica, how firm is my balloon? This one, look at it. It's really firm. And look at this one. But I could look, I'm going to show you. I can literally still do balloon rolls with this. I just gather it up. And this might be good for some of these little details. And it's almost like a flower dip at this point. I just set it down and pull it. Look, I just made that beautiful little texture right there with the flimsy one. You could have all different, kinds that would make different patterns. And I'm going to use, actually, this is a great one to use to kind of cover up some of these spots on the canvas that I'm looking at covering up. Now remember, you just wipe your balloon if you don't want to deposit the color that's on your balloon. Make sure you're wiping it in between. And I'm almost done with this painting, you guys. This was really fun. I hope you guys are all being safe. And I hope that you're enjoying, those of you who are trying to find the goodness. I know for me, some days it's a struggle. I have to try to find the things that are good right now because there's so much negativity going on. So, you try to find the goodness in your day, no matter what that is, even if it's just like a beautiful cup of coffee or a sunshine or a friend that calls. Sometimes you just find the goodness in your day, no matter what it is. It's been a tough time, especially, for those of us who are making art for a living. It's a challenging time right now, for sure. And for those of us who are in the field working, for all of those essential workers, my heart goes out to you. I know it's not easy right now to do what you're doing, and I really have big emotion for you. All right. I want to say, here's a great way to cover your edges. So just take your balloon and just go around the edge of your painting, and you'll get all your edges covered with kind of a similar pattern. And if you see anything you want to change, but I really love this painting right now. I don't want to change much about it at all. Oh, Brenda, that's a great idea. Brenda says she got a big sponge, cut it in half, cut out a moon shape in the middle, and used the sponge dampened to wipe her balloons. And this way you can rinse it out, reuse and reuse. That's a great idea. I cannot put a single drop of paint down. I'm a renter, and my landlord, when he saw my studio, he about flipped out. He flipped out and he told me, do not put one drop of paint down these old pipes. I live in a really, really old house, so I have to deal with some practices, I guess, that are kind of against my belief systems in order to do the painting. Good night, Dawn. All right, you guys, this painting, I love it just like as it is. It's totally pretty. You know, it would be really pretty too is embellished with some copper at the end after it dries, like maybe one of the Sandrolette techniques or whatever. But I have to tell you, thank you so much for coming along. What a joy that you that you did this with me today, and I appreciate all of you watching. My prices right now are very cheap, so if you are interested in having a painting, please contact me. I'm really trying to be very generous on my pricing right now, as we are all in a very interesting part of our life, aren't we? Thanks so much. I hope to do another one of these again, and thank you to Gail and Cause Creations for joining me as my moderators. And Fiona, I can't believe you stayed up all that time, and I can't believe you learned anything from me, considering all your beautiful flower dips. Thank you, Anne. Cheryl, I love you so much. Brenda, Kristen, of course, Allie, you know, I love you so much. And thank you, Kathleen, Jessica, all of you. Thanks so much for joining me, and much love to you. Thank you. And that's all she wrote. I'll show you a little close-up right here as long as we're here. Look how pretty. Sorry, my hands are so shaky, you guys. Lots of pretty little parts of this. And the glue really makes it stay.